So the subject was at 51st Avenue in Peoria on the northwest corner, where he was preaching about a church service at a local community church. It is unknown at this time how Hans was shot. We are seeking the public's assistance in obtaining any information regarding what could have happened. If you saw a vehicle or an individual or have any information regarding what occurred, we're asking that you contact the Glendale Police Department at 623-930-3000. Now, 51st Avenue in Peoria is a very busy intersection. So we know for a fact that there were people within the area, there were vehicles driving within the area. So we believe there is somebody within the valley that does know something about what happened. So we are asking that you contact the Glendale Police Department at 623-930-3000. We would also like to say this is a horrible, horrible offense. We have a 26-year-old who was a military medic. He is recently married. He has 2 small children, and he's currently in a critical state. So it is imperative that the public reach out if you do have information so that we can bring justice to Hans and his family.
The intersection itself you mentioned was really busy. Has police reviewed video at all of the assault and the shooting?
So because there are a ton of businesses within that area, our detectives are reviewing a huge amount of surveillance footage. So that's part of the investigation and part of the leads that we're following up on.
Given that the pastor, the armed service or the service member was preaching at the time, could the investigation involve? Are detectives looking into a possible hate crime?
Our detectives are going to follow up on every lead, and based on the information they obtain regarding the investigation, they will charge appropriate charges, whether that's a hate crime or not.
It's too early to determine if this crime was committed by someone in a vehicle on foot.
That's correct. It is too early to determine whether or not this was committed by somebody who was driving by or on foot, or if it's related to Shannon's Law, where somebody shoots a firearm round up into the air and then it comes back down. So we are really looking into all leads, and that's where we're requesting the public's assistance. Because there's so much foot traffic, because there's so much vehicle traffic, and there's so many businesses in the area, we truly believe there's somebody who does know something about what occurred.
Speaking of Shannon's Law, were you guys able to detect a gunshot in that area consistent to what happened to him?
Are you talking about
As
shot
far
spotter?
as the shot spotter.
Okay. We do not have a shot spotter activation within that area at this time.
Was it a Good Samaritan that took him to the hospital, or somebody he knew, or who was able to get him to the hospital?
I'm not entirely sure on that answer.
The assault and then the shooting. What was the order of it? What happened first?
So the first thing that happened is Hans was driven to the hospital. At the hospital, the initial call for service came out where it was believed it was an assault. Medical staff later determined there was a gunshot wound. And so our investigation changed from an assault to an aggravated assault at that point.
It's our understanding that he's not doing well. Can you share as to where he was shot?
I'm not going to share where the victim was shot at this time. However, I can say there is one gunshot wound and the victim is in critical condition.
He's not able to give you any information about that.
Now, at this time, the victim is in critical condition, so we are not able to speak with him.
There is any other agency or law enforcement involved in the investigation?
We will work with any law enforcement agency that has information regarding this incident. The closest neighboring agency would be Phoenix, and so if Phoenix has information, they will obviously provide it to us, and we will share information with them.
Was he with other people when he was preaching on the street?
Presently, to my knowledge, he was preaching alone on the northwest corner at 51st Avenue in Peoria.
Do you happen to have any information on if he does this regularly?
To my knowledge, I'm not entirely sure if this is a regular incident. I do know he recently moved to Arizona, so I'm not entirely sure.
And we still do not know who drove Hans to the hospital.
I do not know for sure who drove him to the hospital. I know his family was within the area.
there's any safety advice for the community when they see, if somebody sees this kind of scenarios?
So one of the things that the Glendale Police Department really preaches to the public is if you see something, say something. And in this instance, that's exactly what it is. We really need the public's assistance to obtain information as to what occurred. If you saw a suspicious person, if you saw somebody with a firearm, if you saw a car driving by that you thought stood out in a manner that was uncommon, we're just asking that you give us a call. Please contact our non-emergency number at 623-930-3000.